guys. Let's talk about how difficult relationships can be. No matter where you may be in your life or in your predominant relationship, relationships across the board, whether it's with family, with a parent, a child, a lover, a friend, at some point on our journey in relationships, we all think the thought, oh, this is hard. This is tough. This is challenging. At the same time, relationships are beautiful. They're amazing. They're the co-creative experience that is filled with everything that we have come here to be, that we long for. And yet it comes at a price. It challenges us. For me, relationships are hard. They're really, really challenging because what I find is that 9 times out of 10, people would much rather bring their issues to the surface, put it on the relationship table, and expect everybody to help them get comfortable about it. Relationships consist of dealing with other people, and everybody's in a different place at a different time. But the reason why this is challenging for me is because I believe in sitting with my feelings, having sacred conversations with myself, establishing where I am on my journey, what my needs are, what fulfills me, what I appreciate about situations, and what may trigger me. And then I go and I sit with myself, I pull out all of my tools and I process. And when I'm in a better place with more clarity and my emotions are not as heightened, then I come to the relationship and I communicate where I am if it's necessary. Most of the time in my processing, in me sitting and working through things with me, I realize that even though I thought someone else was contributing to me feeling a certain way, that it really wasn't them, that it was me, and all I needed to do was take my power back. So the reason why relationships are so difficult for me is that I find that people, when they're not in a good place with themselves, they come and they bring all of that baggage with them. And if they've chosen to ignore or avoid how they feel, if they've chosen to just be ignorant to it or to numb it, because they're in a relationship with you, you're automatically exposed to that. We don't realize the energetic effect that we have on the people that welcome us into their space. We don't realize the responsibility that comes with the beauty of having a relationship. We don't know how to self-regulate. We don't know how to take responsibility for how we feel. And there's a whole lot of reasons for this. And as I say, everybody's in a different place. But relationships have always been difficult for me. As a little girl growing up, I was surrounded by adults who struggled to manage their lives. Addiction, violence, poverty, anger, no self-awareness. Their lives were filled with trying to survive and manage one drama after the next. And as a child in that environment, my needs were not a priority. What I was going to eat next, what I needed to do to be safe from predators or from harm, I needed to figure out on my own. The adults in my life, the people in my life who were my core relationships, were too busy trying to survive their own internal chaos and drama and projecting it onto one another, and then acting it out through aggression, violence, and abuse. They were too busy with that stuck in that cycle to notice when I was hurting, when I needed anything, when I was struggling. So I learned very early on that how I feel is nobody else's responsibility. Now this could be a blessing, depending on how you look at it, or it could be a curse. It taught me to be extremely hyper independent, and it taught me to survive without other people. That's another reason why relationships are difficult for me, because relationships for me, for so much of my life, revolved around me trying to make sure that I and the other children in the situation were safe from the adults, and then trying to be there for them with whatever the outcomes might be as a result of the choices they made. My expectation was that they would create drama, chaos, and extremely volatile situations. And so I began to learn to become adaptable and to deal with my emotions in ways that I would be okay regardless what they create. So in my adult life, it's taken me a long time, and it's been a really long journey for me to learn to make peace, to learn to feel safe in the world, to learn to trust people again, to learn to trust myself, to learn to see the value in the world, and to allow my world to become bigger, to see the love, to feel the hope once again, to be the best person that I can be, to be supportive, to be loving, to be kind, to be solid for the people that I care about, so that I don't bring my chaos and my drama into their experience. Because I decided that the greatest gift I can give in love is to be stable. Stable enough that I can hold a vibration of love and clarity, but also stable enough for me so that I do not adopt and take on other people's mess when they come and put it on the table in front of me. Because these are important skills to learn. And so that's why, through my growth, through my healing, through my evolution, and I will continue to grow and evolve, and through my experience, my life experience, my core life experience, I've learned the skills that have made up the characteristics of who I am in a relationship. And I've made the decision that even though I have these tendencies to want to do things on my own, to self-protect and all of that, what I'm going to work on every day is to be as stable as I can in my relationship with myself, to not be reactive to circumstances, so that I can hold a pure, solid vibration of love for the people that I have entered into agreement with, who I have decided I'm in a relationship with, and who I am fortunate enough to be in a relationship with, like my family and my loved ones. And so the reason why relationships are so difficult for me is because I want that experience to be as peaceful and as loving and as kind as it can be. So I'm willing to have the hard conversations, and I'm willing to deal with the things that are uncomfortable in a way that I can hold space and be as clear to hear the other person, to hear you, to really hear you, and then to establish what my position is in that situation, so that we can continue having a peaceful relationship moving forward. Relationships are hard for me because when somebody chooses to make how they feel and how they see things from a flawed perspective, from a wounded place, from a trauma-based place, suck up all the life in the room or in the relationship and project that onto me when it's not mine to fix and I'm trying to support them. I take it very personally when you choose conflict and you choose to abandon and reject instead of find peace with me. Because that's what I am devoted to do. I want to create a space for us to resolve what it is that is bothering you and bothering me, so that we can make our way towards peace. But sometimes our intention is not about finding peace. Our intention is about wrestling with how uncomfortable we feel and pulling everybody into that situation. So for me, it's easy to pull away, to realize that there's no value in a relationship when your core focus is not peace and harmony with me, because that will always be my core focus. So relationships are tough for me because of that. Do you know why relationships are challenging for you? Do you understand why you process them in the way that you do, and then make the respond to conflict in the way that you do? Because if you don't, you can't expect a partner to ever know. You've got to do the work. You've got to sit with yourself in that sacred, even if it's difficult, way, and you've got to have these hard conversations so that you can understand why it is that you struggle, and only then can you ask another person for what it is that you value in a relationship. Because if you're not getting what you value in a relationship, you're going to walk away. It's easy to give something up when the relationship, it does not offer what you value. So what is it that you value in a relationship?